Sacrificial Scapegoating and Satanic Ritual Abuse, SRA, How TIs Are Selected, Bound, and Broken. Welcome back. I'm Adeline Atlas, 11-time published author, and this is the Ritualistic and Occult Elements series. Today's video is one of the most confronting we'll share. We are going to define and expose two of the most spiritually engineered systems that show up in almost every targeted individual's experience: sacrificial scapegoating and satanic ritual abuse, or SRA. These are not random traumas. These are coordinated assignments. And if you're a TI, there is a very real possibility you were cast in a role you never consented to, as a spiritual offering to preserve someone else's power. Let's begin by breaking down these two terms properly, not how mainstream culture defines them, but how they function in real-world targeting structures. Sacrificial scapegoating. Sacrificial scapegoating is the ritual act of projecting blame, pain, or dysfunction onto a single person so that the rest of a group, whether a family, spiritual order, or occult network, can remain intact. In ancient cultures, a literal goat would be symbolically burdened with the sins of the tribe and then cast out into the wilderness or killed to purify the collective. That's where the term scapegoat originates. But in modern targeting systems, the scapegoat is a human being, usually the most spiritually sensitive, morally intact, or truth-speaking member of a bloodline. And the sacrifice isn't symbolic, it's real. The target is emotionally, spiritually, financially, and socially destroyed, so that the others can remain in denial, in ritual contracts, or in comfort. This is where the TI experience begins for many. You were born into a structure that required a sacrifice, a designated collapse, a psychic dumping ground. And because you were the most intuitive, the most awake, or the most unwilling to lie, you became the assigned receptacle for everyone else's projection. This process often begins in childhood. You're the one blamed when something breaks, even if you weren't there. You're labeled dramatic, difficult, crazy, or sensitive. Your accomplishments are ignored, but your mistakes are exaggerated. Your emotions are used as evidence that you're the problem, even when your reactions are to abuse or violation. These are the foundational stages of sacrificial scapegoating. The family, often unconsciously, begins assigning you a role, and it's never the favored one. It's never the golden child. You are not meant to rise. You are meant to collapse, so others don't have to face their own shadow. But in ritual families, this assignment goes deeper. You're not just emotionally isolated, you're energetically offered. The occult mechanics of scapegoating. In occult families or spiritually inverted bloodlines, the scapegoat is treated as a spiritual firewall. Your suffering becomes the price others pay for protection. If something bad is coming for the family, a curse, exposure, legal collapse, or financial ruin, it gets funneled onto you, not by accident, by design. This can include legal sabotage, where you are falsely accused or disinherited; financial abuse, where inheritances are stolen or delayed; targeted humiliation, where secrets are leaked or lies are spread; isolation campaigns that leave you without community, resources, or credibility. The goal is to redirect the reckoning. You take the fall, you carry the weight. You are sacrificed so the system can remain intact. But it's not intact, it's rotten. And your destruction becomes the spiritual glue holding that rot together. This isn't just toxic family dynamics. It is a ritual cycle, one where someone has to be offered in every generation. And you, the most awake, were born into that cycle, not to participate in it, but to break it. Which is why your targeting intensified the moment you started to remember who you are. What is satanic ritual abuse? Now let's define satanic ritual abuse, SRA, in practical, non-sensational terms. SRA refers to the repeated, often generational abuse of a child or adult within a spiritually inverted system that uses trauma, fear, and sexual violation as means of energetic control, submission, and soul bondage. It often includes sexual abuse, often by family or trusted figures, drugging or sedation during key rituals, sleep paralysis or dream state control, bloodletting, cutting, or exposure to symbolic tools. Soul contract manipulation or spiritual programming. SRA is not limited to cloaked figures in candlelit basements. In fact, most of it occurs in broad daylight, in normal homes, by people who smile in public and hold religious positions or professional licenses. The ceremony is not just in what is done, it's in how it's repeated. That repetition is the ritual. The link between scapegoating and SRA. This is where things connect. The person selected as the scapegoat is often the same person subjected to SRA. Why? Because once you are labeled the problem, it becomes easy to hide your abuse. You're already discredited. You're already unstable. So when you try to speak, no one believes you. This creates the perfect structure for ritual containment. And within that structure, several things happen. Sexual violation becomes spiritual access. In these systems, sexual penetration is seen as spiritual permission. Whether it's rape, molestation, or energetic abuse during sleep, once they cross that boundary, they believe they have rights to your energy, your identity, and your timeline. Sleep is disrupted to allow for entity access. Many TIs report sleep paralysis, strange dreams, or waking up with missing time. This isn't paranoia, it's programming. Occult systems operate in altered states, and sedation is a tool to create energetic entry points. You wake up confused, but they gain access to your field. Shame is used as spiritual binding. If they can humiliate you, especially publicly, they weaken your spiritual defenses. Shame lowers your frequency. It silences your voice. It makes you easier to control. And in these systems, shame is currency. Your DNA is harvested. Hair, blood, menstrual material, sexual fluids. These are all energetically powerful in occult practices. In ritual families, it is common to have items go missing from bathrooms, bedrooms, or laundry as a means of collecting these materials. This isn't superstition. This is spellcraft. How to know if you're a ritual scapegoat. Ask yourself, was I blamed or targeted as a child for things I didn't do? Have I had unexplained medical collapses only around specific people? Do I experience sleep paralysis or blackouts with no medical diagnosis? Has my sexual history included trauma that no one believed or that was denied by the perpetrator? Has my family ever told me I'm too much, too sensitive, or need help right after I express truth? If you answered yes to even 2 of these, you are not imagining this. You were marked. You were selected. But that selection wasn't a curse. It was a signal that you have spiritual power they couldn't control. So they tried to offer you as the sacrifice instead. You can't break a ritual until you see the ritual. You can't reclaim your timeline until you understand how it was hijacked. SRA and sacrificial scapegoating are not abstract themes. They are operational mechanisms behind most TI collapses. This isn't about fear. It's about truth. Your story isn't random. It's not just childhood trauma or a streak of bad luck. It's part of a contract, and you didn't sign it, but it was activated anyway, through blood, through abuse, through silence, through shame. You were not born to be a scapegoat. You were not created to be a sacrifice. But the fact that you survived the assignment proves this. You were the one who could end the ritual. Hi, I'm Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and what you just watched is part of my signature program, the Chosen One series inside School of Soul. This series is not just a course, it's a blueprint for those who know they were different from the start. The black sheep, the scapegoat, the truth teller, the cycle breaker. Inside, you'll discover the family roles playbook, the golden child, the scapegoat, the enabler, the lost child, and how to finally step out of the part you were cast in without consent. How the black sheep becomes the goat, turning rejection into radical transformation and leadership. How to break generational curses and rewrite ancestral contracts so the pain stops with you. And how to recognize and escape modern forms of spiritual and technological targeting, from gang stalking to synthetic synchronicity. This isn't just about survival. It's about awakening, about reclaiming your voice, your lineage, and your destiny as one of the chosen ones. Click the link below to access the full series now, because the role ends the moment you decide it does, and the real script begins with you.